Bianca. On TikTok, it's the KK Factor. Gostaki, not on TikTok. It's under KK Rock Chick on Instagram. It's the KK Factor on TikTok.
Para πολύ, τρελέρω με σου λέω. Para πολύ, σε αγαπώ με αλφα κεφαλαίο. Para πολύ, στορκίζω με μολιό μου. Και στο μυαλό και στο κορμί, είσαι το φάρμακό μου. Μ' αγαπάς, μ' αγαπάς, μ' αγαπάς.
Well, you're definitely going to love Thagapisis, our next guest that's coming up. We've got two amazing guests tonight, but first up, you're going to meet Nick Gavos. Nick is not only passionate about what he does, but he's also on a mission to inspire young Australians to consider rewarding an impactful career as licensed customs brokers, the next generation of specialists keeping our borders moving and our country safe. In Australia, all brokers are licensed under the Division 3 of the Customs Act. And trust me, it's not just about paperwork. It's about understanding complex regulations, protecting the Commonwealth revenue, and more importantly, protecting the community. Most importers rely on licensed custom brokers because getting things wrong can mean major consequences. And with the Australian Border Force playing such a critical role at our ports and borders, tonight's chat with Nick will give us a real inside look into this fascinating world. Don't miss it out. Don't miss out. Completely do not miss this. Nick Gavos is coming up next on the KK Factor. We'll go on to a song, Protifora on the show, and we will speak to Mr. Nick Gavos. Welcome, Mr. Nick Gavos, to the KK Factor right here on RPP FM, the Greek EuroBeat show. How are you, Nick?
Yeah, good, Rula. And yourself?
I'm really, really good. It's an honour to have you. I'm really stoked. You're one of the young winners of and I've actually got that written down here. I've got this thing in the way now and I can't actually see. Okay, let me just move something out of the way. It's irritating me now. Okay, the winner of the Young Professional of the Year Awards from IFCBAA.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that first, Nick.
We recently just came back from the national conference held in Adelaide that was hosted at the Hilton Hotel. So we're stoked to meet all the other senior licensed customs brokers and experienced freight forwarders of our industry, all under the same roof. So many people, so many stories. And I was nominated along with another customs compiler and another customs broker within that category. So just to be nominated as a finalist is an honour.
It is. But then to win it, one of our boys. Congratulations.
Yeah, so thank you. Look, I went in there. I didn't think I was going to win it, but just to be there was an honour itself. So
That, you know what, the attitude that you have is really great. That's the attitude you should have. Be humble. It was really a proud moment to see one of our very own to get an award like that. And your family is part of that type of work, in that line of work.
Yes.
So they are very, very proud, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, just to see everyone's reaction. Mum was over the moon. Good to see Dad crack a smile for once. He's another licensed customs broker, and we run our own family-run customs brokerage.
You
Gavos
do.
Solutions, yes.
You
So
did say, you mentioned before that he finally crack a smile. Now, would that be because of the intensity and the seriousness of that line of work?
of course, yes. And as well, he hasn't made it easy for me either. As well, he's always wanted me to forge my own path. So it's not just given being the son. So just to go out there and do my own thing and sort of make a name for my own. I think that's what's making him proud as well.
So he drives you really well, which is fantastic to hear something like that. And obviously you're going to learn from that. And it may be a little difficult at the time now in the age group that you're at. But once you become a parent, one day you'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to follow my dad's footsteps, because that's what inspires and motivates the young to continue in whatever role that they want to pursue, or you want to sort of drive them, but eventually they will find their own little path.
That's right. Yes.
Are you the only sibling in the family, or do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, it's only me. I'm just the only child.
Okay, well, the prince is going to become a king one day. Now, I know we're going to talk about the line of work you want to pursue, but I've got some other questions I would really like to ask you first, okay? So let's start, please, with your karate journey. What
Yes.
first inspired you to take up the sport? And when did it become clear that this is more than just a hobby for you?
Yeah. So look, I've been doing karate, I would say, nearly all my life. I started from 4 years old. I was trained by Shihan Konkassis, who's a renowned karate master, not just only in the Greek community, but around the world. He's vastly loved and embraced and celebrated. Recently passed away. I'd say probably
I'm
about
sorry to hear that.
2 years ago or something. Yeah, around about that. So he was a fabulous mentor. He was a father figure. And to learn from one of the greatest karate masters in the world, and to have him in our city and country as well, was an honor. And then to take up the sport, I actually left Cassis Karate, and then I'd gone to Kimike Karate. So
Okay.
from there, I was trained by the head coach of Australia, who was Sensei Marco Mazzanti.
Yes.
And from there, I was practically training every morning and night for a couple of days down in Hyatt. We're based in West Melbourne. So mum and dad were driving me up and down Melbourne just to get to the dojo and to train. And, with their dedication as well as my hard work, I happened to become one of the more successful heavyweight athletes at that time in my weight category and age group, yeah.
So you won silver at the 2022 Oceania Championships in New Caledonia.
Yes.
That was your international debut. Must
Yes,
have been
so-
a proud moment. Can you take us back into that experience?
Oh, it was a good experience. First round I had New Zealand, which I won, and then the final was a bit more emotional because I had to go up against one of my best friends who also trained in my dojo, but he represented Nauru. So it was Australia versus Nauru in the final, and unfortunately got the win in the end. But it was a second finish for our club, and we were all over the moon. And just to bring 2 international medals back to the club was it was an honour.
Well done. So fitting school in, how was that balance like with your intense morning and evening training sections? And that wouldn't have been easy. So how did you manage to stay focused and committed at the same time at such a young age? And Angie, you need to be a little bit patient, and you will find out exactly what Nick is doing. Just follow the journey. Sorry, Nick, back to you. That's just one of our listeners who wants to fast track, because
That's
obviously
all right.
she's very, very, very keen to learn all about you.
Of course.
So back to the school and how you fit it all in.
With school, if I can give you an honest answer, I didn't really fit it in that well. I
Okay.
tried. I gave up my lunch breaks just to try and catch up on my classes because,
Yeah.
again, with the distance, we're based in Keilor Downs. So to drive from Brighton, Hyde, essentially, back to the west is
Wow.
it's a bit of a hike with traffic. So, yeah. So I was
Wow.
missing like an hour and a half of school nearly every day. So, and then plus at night, I had to make up for it as well, homework, and then leading up to SACs and VCE. Uh, my attendance wasn't so great. I had to withdraw from a subject,
That's
and that,
okay.
yeah, that lowered my ATAR significantly. But yeah, look, school's great. That's why I say to everyone, try and put your time and effort in school, but it's not always everything. You're gonna
No,
have
it's not. And
opportunities.
and you have to find your way and see where your strengths are, where the weaknesses are, what your passion is, what
Yes.
drives you. Now, karate, just going back to karate for a moment, because a lot of parents will put you in karate more for discipline to learn to, be more disciplined. But
Yes.
beyond the physical aspects, did it help you shape your mindset and any personal values?
Oh, most definitely. When you come from a dojo environment, when you have a sensei that's instructing a class, you're taught discipline basically from the start. It's again, you're with peers, you're learning together, you respect everyone. It doesn't matter what rank you are in a dojo,
Yeah.
everyone's equal. You have to respect that. So to apply that in the real world, that's why a lot of people put their kids in martial arts. And not only are these people teaching our kids, but they're also giving back to our community as well. So I absolutely love what they do. I was one of those people that went in there, and anyone can be a great product coming out of there.
Wow. I'm listening to you and thinking to myself, you're going to make yourself a really great dad one day. Seriously.
Oh, I hope so.
No, it's in the future, but I was just thinking that looking at you and listening to what you're saying, and I'm thinking, wow, your dad drove you. You've embraced and understand everything, and it's like,
Yes.
it's not just the career, but it's really setting you for later as a man, as a husband, as a father. You later competed at the 2023 Australian Open, and you represent
Yes.
Australia again in both junior and senior divisions. How did those back to
Yes.
back accomplishments feel, and what did you take away from those events?
So in the Australian Open, I represented my club, Kimike. I ended up in the final. I'd won the gold there. I had the Junior Oceania Championships there. I won second. So that was back to back. So there was really not much break. Look, again, I had my mate Pius in the final. Again, Australia versus Nauru, same result. Then the next day we went to the Australian Open, and I had got the edge on him that day. So that
Wow.
was when I won the gold at the national level. And yeah, again, it was a first, second finish for Kimike. So that's what we both cared about. And, our sensei was happy, grabbed us by the hands, just gave us big hugs. And, that's what mattered to us. Didn't matter who came out.
Wow. I love the attitude. All right. Now, from karate to logistics industry. You're successfully transitioned into the logistics and customs industry. Was
Yes.
that always the plan? I mean, because of the family business, or did it naturally evolve from your family background? Or was there a time when you thought, I prefer to do something else, even though we talked about, you did mention to me that was what you wanted to do. That's your passion. But was there
Yes.
ever a time that maybe you thought something different?
Yeah, look, I didn't always wanted to aspire to become a customs broker. At the start, I was actually studying to become an osteopath. So
Ah, there we
look,
go.
my ATAR was a little bit shaky. That was part of the reason. And
Yeah.
then during that time, I was sort of working with dad just to pass time. And then I saw it was something I actually enjoyed, and I didn't
Yeah.
really take advantage of it. And I thought, well, I could make something out of it. It's already set up, but it's a passion for me. So I went in there, I devoted to go down the yellow brick road, as we say. And yeah, I've just been pushing myself ever since to try and become a licensed customs broker.
That's a very inspiring little story then. And because when I go to a few events called Pathways to Success, and we speak to some professionals, and a lot of them will turn around and say to people, to young people like yourself around your age group, or just before they're starting university, and they say, sometimes you might take a different path, or a path that you want to take, and as you're going through that path, it may not quite work for you for whatever reason. And
Yes.
then it's great because you've got other options. So pursuing something and academically, and then you've also got the backup of the family business, and then you saw for yourself that being a customs broker is what you wanted to do. Now, you're currently working as a custom compiler in your family-run business while studying the diploma of customs broking, or have you finished that?
I'm still going with that. That's going to take
Yep.
some time.
So how do you juggle work and study and the high expectations from your father and yourself?
Look, study and work definitely not easy when you put the two together. It's a lot of late hours, not a lot of sleep. But one thing I can say is Dad hasn't put a lot of expectation on me. He just said, if you love what you do, just go ahead and do it the best you can. So,
well, Mr. Senior Gavos, we would love to have you at the Greek Centre. Part of the Pathways to Success events that they do every year. I'm going to send a link to you to pass on to your father, because I
sure.
think your dad has got a lot of inspiring things, and would probably know how to motivate young people, especially when I hear what he's actually doing for you. Okay, we're going to go now and look ahead, looking ahead and inspiring others. Now, you're on your way to become a second-generation licensed customs broker, following your father's footsteps. What kind of legacy do you hope to build?
Look, definitely just add on to the good name that my dad's already made, not
Yeah.
just for himself, but also the business and the reputation that it upholds. My dad's had, I'd say, over 30 years experience in the industry, 22 as GFS. So I'm only hoping I can add to that success and build upon that legacy he's already started.
Thank you, Nick. You also had mentioned to me before the interview that your passion is to inspire young people to enter into the industry.
Yes.
What would you say to someone considering a career in customs broking or freight forwarding?
Look, it's definitely one of those industries you don't hear about or you see every day. Logistics is quite broad. It's not specific. People hear customs broker, what is it? Look, it's an industry that's fun. It's dynamic. It's exciting. Keeps you on your toes every day. It's always something different. And like we all say, there's never a dull moment in our industry. So, look, at the moment, we've got about 800 licensed customs brokers practicing nationwide. We don't have a lot. And I look at the generation that is supposed to be coming under me, and really there's nobody. So I'd love to share that industry with more people that I can hopefully inspire.
I think it's amazing. But I'm just thinking, while you're explaining all this, what one of our listeners, Angie, was saying, what does he do? So before I got you on, I touched on Border Australia Customs Brokerage at a different level. So
Yes.
if you were to explain to, let's say, myself or a grandparent in very easy terms what a customs broker does, how could you explain that to us all?
The best way I can sort of explain it to tie it in simply is we're basically like lawyers that deal with shipping, freight, and logistics. So we're the associates that study all the customs laws and regulations and advise importers and exporters of what the legalities are to either export something out of the country or import it in, and facilitate the customs clearance and quarantine clearance as well for the imported goods. So they'll come to us.
Okay, so while you're saying what you're saying, all I can think of is Border Australia, Customs Border Australia, the series on TV.
Yes, the Border Force, yes.
That's it, the Border Force. So
Yes.
you're in control what comes in, what goes out, when people smuggle things, catching them.
Yes.
So, so
we don't physically do that. We don't physically look at packages. We answer to Big Brother, which is customs.
Yeah.
But like you say, the ones that check it. But
Yeah.
we're the ones that have to do our due diligence and protect our border as well, and
I love it.
uphold the safety of the community.
I love it. I look, you know what? Australia is one of the luckiest countries, and to know, our Australia border, how they look after things, and to have someone like yourself, very passionate to protect the community, protect Australia, protect our borders, and you really want to get out there and have people, young people like yourself, join. I think it's an exciting career, actually. Now,
It is.
I know some of my listeners are probably wondering about something that just popped into my head, as we do. So this week we saw on the news how some woman in Brisbane, I think she was, correct me if I'm incorrect here, she soaked a towel with vinegar, added chili, and thought she could smuggle across the borders cocaine.
Oh wow.
And she got caught, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, is it that easy? I mean, we see how many people get caught, and we hear so many stories. And I think to myself, but why would you do it? You know you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
Are we lacking the amount of people to protect our borders for those that don't get caught but eventually do get caught? Where's there a gap?
Look, that's more of a border force concern and their structure, but I can tell you now, border force is quite accurate. And like you said, Australia is a lucky country where we're lucky enough to be an island nation. We don't have many borders; it's just air and ocean. So we're very much secure, and they know everything. So I don't advise anyone to try and
Smuggle anything. Oh, well, this is really great, because I could ask you a couple more questions now. Unless my listeners want to, they can get onto the live chat and ask questions. Angie, I do hope, Katalava, she said. Bravo, Angie.
Yeah.
I did too, actually. So if when you see stories and they say the Australian border forces have been investigating and then finally they get caught. So what you're actually saying to me is they know it's happening, but they're waiting for the big bust. So
possibly, it's all part of their intelligence. Not that I would know, but
give us some
customs
inside information. Just make it really exciting for us. whatever you can share. But obviously it's to promote, don't do it, because you're going to get caught.
Yeah, look, all I can say is customs definitely knows what's going on. Whether they get to you now or later, that's their intelligence. They never tell us. We don't know. No one knows, as a matter of fact.
So then the customs broker, okay, so you're essentially, there's the item that needs to get across the border. You've got to follow all the regulations.
Yes, and we're declaring that item through whatever onshore outcomes there are, conditions. We're the ones that are facilitating that clearance through. So if there is something wrong with that shipment, then that becomes a customs issue.
How do you know if there's something wrong? How do you know what you're actually moving across?
Well, that's a good question. We don't know half the time. A lot of it we do based on face value and on good faith. So that's why we bank on customs to do the best job that they can. And I'll tell you what, 99 out of 100%, a lot of the time they always get it right. So
okay, so that's when they come in first. So first the product comes to you, or the item goes to you. You follow the regulations and get it all ready, and off it goes. Then Border Australia gets involved, Customs Border Australia. Then they do their research or whatever equipment they use. And now with AI coming out, it's going to be even more hectic. And then it gets to the other side, yes?
Yes. So all being well, then just like you would order something on Shein via DHL or something, then that it comes out to you, whether it be a container or a little parcel. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as post, correct? Yes. It's the process.
I love it. I love it. Nick, thank you so much. Congratulations on winning that award. Has that changed you in any way, or changed your way of thought, or inspired you in different ways?
Look, it's definitely inspired me to push harder and try and get out there and use it for the benefit of the community, try and get more people in. Not that it's expanded me in any way in shape or form. Probably just kept me humble and reassured me that I'm doing all the right things to move forward.
Wow. And you're still continuing with karate?
No. So I've hung up the gloves now and then full time with the business.
with the
So
business. Yeah, obviously, and you're still studying as well. Nick, thank you so, so much. I can see someone's looking at you and they're probably saying, did you tell them messages? Oh, who's there? I can see you. I should have
now
said to you,
looking
go in
at
another room and don't let
comment.
anyone sit there.
I can't comment.
No comment. No comment. Well, you're the customs broker. You work alongside Australian border, so it's basically no comment. Nick, thank you so, so much. It was really lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
To
Appreciate
personally congratulate one of our boys getting that award. And it wasn't even given in Melbourne, it was in Adelaide, and we love Adelaide. And just to be able to hear your story of how you are and what you've done to get to where you are today. And it's really inspiring also to know that you've got a dad and, a mum and a dad, or parents behind you that drive you and motivate you to become who you want to be and the best version of yourself. It's really, truly inspiring. Keep up the great work. Keep it going. If we can do anything on radio to help you achieve bringing in the young towards that line of work, we'll do what we can. But I do know one thing is get involved with the Pathway to Success. I will send you that link as well, and be one of the mentors or one of the people, the professionals that the young can then come to you and say, hey, this is what I want to do as well, and ask questions, because I think it's really, really important.
Yes. And for anyone as well, if you ever need customs clearance or customs free audit services as well, just give us a call, an email, visit our website. More than happy to explain to you what services we can offer.
And this is Gavos Freight Solutions, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Nicola, thank you so, so much. And
Thank
give
you
my
very
love
much.
to your mum. I've been following her on Instagram and her amazing meals.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what I wanted to also touch on before I get you off? You don't come off that quickly.
Yeah,
Your
sure.
yarn papu.
Yes.
Tell us about your passions with your grandparents.
Look, they're another mob I absolutely love. They're ecstatic too. We always go and see them. We try and stay in touch with them as much as we can.
That's
They're
so nice.
both turning 85 this year.
And that's still young.
Yeah, they are still young. They're
That's
still strong as a horse. They're still independent. They love doing their own things.
And they understand the role that you're taking on.
Yes, they've been happy for me ever since I first got in. They're happy to see me on the right path, and most importantly, they're proud of their son as well with what he's achieved. Not just myself, but yeah, as a family, what we've done in short time.
Yeah.
With them as well, coming from Greece with nothing to establish something. I'm sure they're proud of everyone who's had a contribution into the business.
Well done. I've got Angie. She said, but bad luck. She said she did something with cigarettes from Greece.
Oh, sure.
What can I say? Nico, thank
Yeah.
you so, so much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
No worries. Thank you, Roulakk.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll catch up very, very soon in person.
Most definitely, we'll do. Thank you.
Filagya.
Thank you.